Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. I am Muhammad Junaid Said. Hopefully you have no problem in the previous lecture. Dear students, if you have any problem, then you can write in the comment box and I will answer of your problem. Today we discuss chapter number 17 and the name is the chi-square distribution and statistical inference. The introduction of this chapter is another distribution that has many important applications in statistical inference is the chi-square distribution. Dear students, you always known a very important distributions studied in the previous lecture like probability distribution, normal distribution, etc. But now we studied here chi-square distribution. Every distribution have a separate importance for different problems, but chi-square distribution also have a great importance. This approximation has broad applications such as a test of goodness of fit, as a test of independence, and as a test of homogeneity. Students, these three are also tests. Maybe inshallah, if we have a time, then I studied these three tests: goodness of it, a test of independence, and the test of homogeneity. Students, here this means those properties which included in the test of goodness of fit and test of independence and the test of homogeneity are all also included in the chi-square distribution test. So from this respect, chi-square distribution is very important. The chi-square distribution contains only one parameter called the number of degree of freedom, which is denoted as df. Students, I explained the degree of freedom in the previous lecture. If you have any problem about degree of freedom, then you see the video of degree of freedom, where the term degree of freedom represents the number of independent random variables that express the chi-square. Now we are going to a definition of chi-square distribution. First of all, we suppose these things, let z1, z2 up to so on zn be normally and independently distributed variables. Students, when we explain anything in mathematics or in statistics, first of all we define basic things, basic parameters. On these parameters our definition based always. Here these things are like normally and independently distributed variables. Those variables here I let z1, z2 up to so on zn, these be the normally and independently distributed variables and have the property the mean of this which is equal to 0 and the variance is equal to 1, that is unity. And then a random variable expressed by the quantity chi-square, which is equal to summation of zi square. Z mean which I let, that is the random variables, is defined as the chi-square random variables with n degree of freedoms. This means this has n degree of freedoms. That is, a chi-square random variable is defined as a sum of square of the n independent standard normal random variables. Students, if we see this relation, and we can define easily, the chi-square random variable is defined as the sum of square, sum of square of n independent standard normal random variables. These are the n random variables. We are taking the square of n independent standard normal random variables and also taking the sum of that squares. This is equal to chi-square, and its density function has the following: f of chi-square, which is equal to 1 over 2 raised power small n over 2 gamma n by 2 into chi-square whole power n by 2 minus 1 into e raised power minus, which is equal to chi-square, sum of square of n independent standard normal random variables, which is equal to chi-square. Now the properties of the chi-square distribution is: first property, the chi-square is a continuous distribution. Chi-square is a continuous distribution and its ranges from 0 to plus infinity. This is a very important. I explained in previous. Chi-square is a continuous distribution and its range from 0 to infinity. It's a very important for the MCQ point of view. Second property, the mean of chi-square distribution. The mean of chi-square distribution, which is equal to the number of degree of freedoms. Simply, mean of the chi-square distribution, which is equal to number of degree of freedom, and the variance of the chi-square distribution, which is equal to twice the number of degree of freedom. If we know the degree of freedom for chi-square distribution, then we can say easily its mean is equal to its degree of freedom and its variance, which is equal to multiply mean twice of the number of degree of freedoms. Mean we multiply 2 with the degree of freedom. That is expected value of chi-square n, the degree of freedoms, and the variance, which is equal to 2n. Dear students, here E shows expected value, and you know the expected value is equal to mean for equally likely events. So here this shows for mean. And the third property is third property is the curve of chi-square distribution is positively skewed. The skewness decreases as n increases. Here, first of all, you already know what is skewness. You studied, I think so, in this semester number 3 or maybe 4, but I repeat what is skewness. Dear students, skewness is a measure of asymmetry of the probability distribution of a random variable about its mean. Simply, the probability distribution of random variables about its mean. If we makes or find out the probability distribution of the random variable about its mean, then these are the skewness of that problem. If symmetric bell curve, in this symmetric bell curve, the curve is shifted to left, then it is negatively skewed. If the curve of skewness shifted to left side, mean say like this is the bell shape and shifted to left side, then we say this is a negatively skewed. But if the curve is shifted to right side, then I say this is a positively skewed. But we studied the chi-square distribution, the properties of chi-square distribution. The curve of chi-square distribution is positively skewed. The skewness decreases as n increases simply. When n is equal to 1, we put n is equal to 1 in the density function of the chi-square. In the density function of chi-square, which I explained previously, then our required result is this. How these results make, I am not explaining the calculation of all that, but you kept in mind simply these results. If you are interested for this result, how I calculate when put value of n is equal to 1 in the density function of the chi-square, how it makes, then you can do it. And if you have any problem, then you ask in the comment section, then I will reply, inshallah. But if n is equal to 1 and put in the density function, then our required result is this. If you check the graph, this shows here about y-axis chi-square distribution, function of the chi-square, and simply x-axis shows the chi-square. This red graph shows n is equal to 1 for n is equal to 1, and black shows for n is equal to 2, n is equal to 6 for n is equal to 10, when we put these values in the density function of the chi-square. Then it makes a J shape, but here it's not a J shaped, it's a anti-J shaped. But in the book, I think so, words are missing, anti, so not worry about that. The curve is extremely anti to J shaped and the skewness is the highest. When n is equal to 2, then makes this result, and the curve is steadily decreasing exponential curve with initial point 0, 1 by 2. Students, for n is equal to 2, it's about x-axis, these are the chi-square, which is equal to 0. This not cut on this, but it seems just like so. we say simply this point is 0, 1 by 2. This is the initial point and shows an exponential curve. So up to so on for n is equal to 6 and n is equal to 10. These are the properties of chi-square distribution. The fourth property is the chi-square distribution tends to normal distribution as the number of the degrees of freedom approaches infinity. If the degree of freedom approaches to infinity, then it tends to normal distribution, that chi-square distribution. Chi-square distribution approaches to normal when degree of freedom approaches to infinity. So next is confidence interval estimate of the variance of normal population. Confidence interval estimate of variance of normal population. The confidence interval estimate of the population variance sigma square is based on sampling distribution of S square. Students, it's very important. The confidence interval estimate of the population variance sigma square. We have a population and its variance is sigma square, is based on sampling distribution, which is S square. Now if we add the sampling distribution in a problem, then this makes a chi-square distribution. Not added. Here I write the sign of addition for your understanding. Simply, if these two things are comes in a problem, then we can make the chi-square distribution. Not in actual sense, it's write a positive sign. Simply, if these two things are comes in a problem, then we can apply the chi-square distribution simply and use this chi-square distribution confidence interval estimate for sigma square when one sample variance for several sample variance. If these things are given in a problem, then next the confidence interval estimate you can find for sigma square when one sample variance for several sample variance. First we find out one sample variance. Confidence interval estimate of sigma square from a sample variance. Let small x bar and s square be the mean and variance of random samples. We have these random samples of the size small n, and we find out mean from this and also variance find out, which is equal to s square. And we drawn these samples from a normal population with variance sigma square. Now we apply the statistics, mean we use these samples and its results, and then find out normal, then find out variance sigma square, which is population variance. Now first of all, for biased data and for unbiased data, dear students, if we use these samples and for a biased data, then our result makes small n s square over sigma square, and if we used for unbiased, then n minus 1 s square over sigma square. How these results makes, it's a separate thing, but here you understand simply formula and how to apply these formulas on a problem any kind of problem. Students, for a biased data, S square, which is equal to summation small xi minus small x bar over whole square over n. Put the value of S square here and then cancel out, and remaining factor is this. And similarly for unbiased, if we use unbiased, then the value of S square is, for biased is n here, but for unbiased n minus 1 here. Putting the value of this in this relation, and our required results is this. For a particular sample size small n, the 100 into 1 minus alpha % confidence interval for sigma square is given by is this. Class, how makes these results? It's a proof of when we use these things for biased or unbiased, then applying different techniques which write on a book, then ultimate makes this result. But I directly write this result because you simply remember the formula for that problem and apply on the problem. Simply you solve the problem, not the proof. If you interested, then tell me and I try to prove for you. Now this is the sample, particular sample size n for 100 into 1 minus alpha % confidence interval for sigma square is given by, which is this. Here we say this is equal to small a and this is equal to small b are the values of a chi-square distribution with n minus 1 degree of the freedom. Leaving areas of 1 minus alpha by 2 and alpha by 2 respectively to the right. Thus 95, if problem is formula is completed here, but here we take a simple, if 95% confidence interval for sigma square, then how we write? We can write this. How we can write this, student? We already know this result. For unbiased, here let I, this is unbiased, I let for unbiased, if unbiased, then you know multiply n minus 1 and divided by n minus 1 from this side and either this side. And then this makes S square for unbiased, and also this makes S square, and remaining factor as it is. Here he says for confidence interval 95%, 95 divided by 100, which is equal result, which is equal to 0.95, and put in the formula, and the significance level is 0.05, and put alpha value in the above problem, above formula which are given, and here alpha is 0.05 and 0.05. Solve it and all as it is, but here 0.0525 after this, after solving this, and after solving this 0.975 results comes. So this makes a result for 95% confidence level. Here now the next formula, confidence interval of sigma square from several sample variance. Similarly, for according to previous problem, for single sample, here for several sample. Suppose we have a population with variance sigma square. Here we have a population and we are taking k random sample from this population, and here is S1 square, S2 square up to so on Sk square with the sample variance based on random sample of size n1, n2 up to so on nk respectively according to this. We can take dear students different population also, but the result of different population for variance always equal. If always equal for different population, then we can also use of these population. But if we cannot interested on this, you say simply we have a population and its variance is sigma square, and we are taking random sample k from these population, and our samples are S1 square, S2 square up to so on Sk square, and from sizes n1, n2 up to so on nk. Here, so the final result of this 1 minus alpha into 100% confidence interval for sigma square is given by this result: sum of ni si square over chi square alpha by 2. These are in the subscript, also these are in the subscript, less than sigma square less than summation ni si square over chi square 1 minus alpha by 2. This is the formula for the confidence interval of sigma square from several sample variance. Previous are for single sample. Now we are going to a problem. Then we have cleared how we solve the problem for class also, which I explained this formula. For this formula, here these chi square 1 minus alpha by 2 and chi square alpha by 2 are the values of chi square distribution having summation ni minus k degree of freedom. In the previous, degree of freedom is for single n minus 1, but here the degree of freedom for several sample is summation ni minus k. Now we are going to a problem. A random sample of size n is equal to 8 from a normal population gave the values these. Find the 90% confidence interval for sigma square. Class, simply we have a normal population and these are the samples. First of all we find out the xi, which is mean, which is equal to 11, and also find out small xi minus small x bar whole square, because we are using this formula. Because this is a for a single variance. This problem is for single variance. Find the 90% confidence interval for sigma square. Population given, normal population gave the values these, which are the samples. Find out the 90% confidence interval for sigma square. Class, here we use sample variance confidence interval estimate of sigma square from a sample variance, one sample variance. If here just like 8 samples, more 8 samples and more 8 sample and more 8 sample mean different samples also given just like this in a problem, then we use a several variance formula. But here we use simple one sample variance formula which we studied, this summation small xi minus small x bar whole square over chi square alpha by 2, this formula. For this formula we have to find small xi minus x bar whole square summation. Here n is equal to 8. In this problem I want to 8 xi minus x bars. For this 9 minus this mean 11 whole square plus the second is 14 minus 11 whole square plus up to so on, which is equal to 36 by adding this. In the second step class we find out the confidence interval given in a problem which is equal to 90%, but the formula of confidence interval is 1 minus alpha. Here the confidence interval in the percentage we divide 90 by 100 and result is 0.90 and 1 minus alpha as it is, and find out the value of alpha which is equal to 0.1. Here this is the significance level, and find out the degree of freedom. Class degree of freedom is equal to n minus 1 for the n minus 1. It varies, degree of freedom varies for distribution to distribution, for chi-square distribution, for normal square distribution, normal distribution, for t distribution, but degree of freedom changes from distribution to distribution. But here for the chi-square uses n minus 1, putting the value of n 8 and its degree of freedom which is equal to 7. So from the chi-square table class table are given in book, on book page number 176. Class we have to find because we know in a formula chi square alpha by 2 and chi square 1 minus alpha by 2 are find out, then putting the values in this formula in the last. First of all we find out these things from the table. First, for chi square, first we put the value of alpha which I find out which is equal to 0.1, put in this relation alpha 0.1 and divided by 2. Similarly 0.1 divided by 2 and also 1 minus. When we divided 0.05 are find out, and comma 7 we write for degree of freedom, always write for 7 for both. Class how we find the value 0.05 comma 7. If we see the table chi-square distribution which is right on 176 page on the book, 0.05 comma 7, 0.05 is about the x-axis and 7 is the numbers n right from column wise. 7 comma 0.05. We find out in the column 7 and find out 0.05 in x-axis. This is which I elaborate, and corresponding value is 14.07, which I write. Similarly for 0.95 comma 7, 0.95 is this and 7 is this, and find out in the correspondence, which is 2.17. Hence 90% confidence interval for sigma square. Putting the values, right, first of all write down the formula and putting the values, which is 36 and values from the table 14.07 and 2.17, and solving this we makes this interval. Hence 90% confidence interval for sigma square is 2.57 to 16.61. Hopefully you understand this lecture. If you have any problem, please write in a comment box. Okay, Allah Hafiz.